Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we have your weekly replay video. This week featuring the Tier 8 Premium French battleship, the Gascon, which is a ship that we haven't had on the channel, like, much at all recently. She's a very interesting ship for sure, and we'll get more into that here in a second. But today she's being driven by one Mr. TRC, who submitted this replay via the email linked down below, where you can submit your own replays, so you might find yourself here on the channel. As always, too, this is a live reaction replay, so you guys are getting my genuine live reaction to whatever it is that happens in the background footage. So I'm sitting down, watching and recording this for the very first time right now. So it's a bit of a funner way to, do a replay video rather than watching it and going back and talking about what happened, in my opinion. But anyway, the Gascon. So the Gascon is a, as you can tell, pretty peculiar Tier 8 battleship, as it has its two turrets placed fore and aft of the superstructure, not unlike an overgrown Graf Spee, which is also the same turret layout of the Republique, the Tier 10 Techline French battleship. But unlike the Republique, the Gascon does not have large for its tier guns. She has the same 15-inch guns that you can find on the Richelieu. Now, the Gascon, the design that the Gascon is representing in game was a real-life design. It was a further development of the Richelieu-class battleships that the French were looking at, but I don't think they ever laid her down. I think there were plans for the next ship in the class to, be built in this way, but I don't think it ever saw any real-life manifestation. But, of course, that does not stop Wargaming from including these ships in game, which I think is pretty cool. Anytime we see, these what-if, almost-built real-life ships in game, I think that's pretty darn neat. But anyway, this is a Tier 8 game, like it's a straight-up Tier 8 game, no Tier 7 or Tier 6 ships, nor any Tier 9 or Tier 10 ships. And it is a double submarine CV game, too, so that's a little oof. Now, the Gascon can be played in one of two ways. The way that TRC is playing her is, in my opinion, the better. Ooh, nice hit there on the Vanguard, 15k with the Citadel. But anyway, yeah, the way TRC is playing her is the way that I would recommend playing her, as a mid-range sniper. You build into the maneuverability of the ship. As you can see, he's got brisk, he's using the engine boost, running around at the middle of the pack, just, looking for those broadside shots, using that nice, spicy French 15-inch AP to his advantage. That's what I think is probably the best way to play Gascon. The other way, which there's plenty of players that swear, what is this Jarlsveld doing, creeping up on an Otago like that? I don't know what his plan here is, but I don't think it's going to work out too well for him. Looks like he called that pretty close, and oh man, couple overpins. God, that looked like it was gonna be a lot better. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, you play at mid-range, you use the ship's maneuverability to your advantage, run around, be a hard target to hit. The other way that a lot of players swear up and down that Gascon is best played as is a full-on brawler. You build into the secondary guns, you run at enemy ships, rinse, wash, and repeat. I don't find that manner to be too successful. There's other ships in the game that are better at brawling than a lot of the French ships. All the French battleships, they're coated 32 millimeters of armor, so they get pinned by everyone and their mom at Tier 8 plus, because everyone's trying to get over that 32 millimeter threshold. So, not being said it's impossible to do, but there's much better ways to go about doing it. And plus, the French secondaries, they don't pin anything. They have 19 millimeters of pin, if that, right? So, there's a couple of French battleships out there, like the reload's almost good enough for them to be useful, but then also, it seems that the French secondaries are made out of wet tissue paper and they can be destroyed by sneezing on them, again, from my experience. But anyway, so he just looks like he is getting a little bit closer to the action over here. Found that Vanguard again, fairly broadside, and nicks him a little bit there, 4,700 damage. Ooh, there's Baltimore, though. Now, we have seen some torpedoes come flying around from over this corner over here, so we know that there's a submarine over here somewhere. And because the friendly submarine spawned on this side, too, so the enemy submarines over here as well. Oh, the Shikaku takes out the friendly Otago. So that is the first friendly ship down. An enemy destroyer did get sunk earlier, but I think we missed that. Enemy team is the only one that's capping at the moment. A and B cap are currently being capped. There's a Bismarck that's just kind of chilling in the B cap right now. Looks like the Iparanga and the Mets are having a little face-off in the A cap. And now TRC is looking to catch this Baltimore with both of his turrets. He's cleared the island. There we go. Beautiful Death Strike. 2 hits, 2 citadels. Goodbye, Mr. Baltimore. Unfortunately, before the Baltimore went down, he did launch his ASW aircraft. He took out the friendly submarine on this side. So now the enemy submarine on this side doesn't have to be worried about getting caught out by the friendly submarine, so he's kind of got free reign over here. That Bismarck is still in B. Looks like he's going to get to cap the B cap by himself. Vanguard's turning. Uh-oh. TRC's been caught by the... Why did the Bismarck leave the B cap? What? Okay, Mr. Bismarck. Alright, 1 torp. 2 torp. Ooh, 2 instances of flooding, and his damage con is on cooldown. God, that's why I'm so paranoid about damage con, guys. Because, like, the second you use it to put, like, 1 fire or 1 flooding, it feels like you get hit with, you know, another random salvo of bombs or torpedoes or HE that sets 2 of instances on you. And now the Vanguard swapped on over to HE as well. Ooh, thankfully none of that hit. Ah, man, now the friendly team has fallen like flies at the moment. Not sure why TRC keeps looking up at the sky. Okay, 10 seconds left on this flooding. 6 seconds till his heal comes off a cooldown. He's trying to go undetected. Well, maybe he's not. I just realized he fired his guns. Okay, popped his heal. He should be good now. And there we go. But of course, submarine's going to keep him spotted no matter what. Yeah, there's the Bismarck there. Not sure why he didn't just stay in the B cap and cap it. He looked like he was getting to do that pretty much unopposed, but you know what? Juicy broadside is juicy broadside. Shells out, and pretty good hit there. 10k on the Bismarck. Bismarck has retaliated on the Gascon, and nothing. Looks like the, is that the Protector secondaries? Or, yes, Protector secondaries that are raining down upon the Bismarck. Rear turret out on the Bismarck. Alright, so sit rep. Friendly side is down 5 ships. Enemy side is also down 4 ships. Never mind, not 5. So things are looking fairly even, but not too good for the friendly side, considering that someone is capping the B cap for the enemy team. And the enemy team, I believe the points are once again reversed because the replay loves to bug out like that. So we'll see here in a second when the next ship goes down, but I have a suspicion that the points are reversed. Alright, so, TRC, not in the best situation here, down to 7,000 HP. He is healing some of that back. Now, there we go. Okay, yeah, the points are reversed. So, 225 versus 225 right now. Alright, so, most of that damage, though, is flooding damage, which is 100% recoverable. Oh, and the Benson has found the S-189, but the S-189 got his torps out on the Benson. I think the Benson will be okay, but not from the Vanguard shells. Unless they all miss because it's Vanguard. Okay, they all miss because it's Vanguard. God, the Valparaiso is such an upgrade over the Vanguard. It's not even funny. Alright, Benson trying to gun down the S-189. He's at the surface, but his gunfire isn't being all that effective. However, the Vanguard does have tunnel vision for the Benson. Shots out on the Vanguard. TRC's trying to save his destroyer buddy here, which is definitely what you want to do. And good hits, 14k, but unfortunately not enough to take out the Vanguard before the Benson does go down. Now that doubly sucks because that's their last destroyer, and they don't have any submarines left alive. What happened to the carrier? Oh my god, the carrier got sunk. The carrier was at H2. What in the world, buddy? Alright, things are looking very much not good for the friendly side. They're down to their last 5 ships, no caps, no carriers, no destroyers, no submarines. So the enemy team has a massive advantage here because they have all the spotting advantage. Because, you know, what was the cruiser left alive on the friendly side? The Protector. Yeah, the Protector is exactly a spotting cruiser. So basically now the enemy team can pick and choose when to engage the friendly team because they can see them. And, well, the friendly team cannot see them unless they fire. So now, this isn't looking good at all. Alright, and the enemy team also has the B cap, and they are gaining on the friendly team's points. Another fire on the Vanguard instantly puts it out. Not sure I would have done that, especially with an Otago being right there. You guys can hear Blue barking in the background. I do apologize. He is, however, an puppy, so he does yip and yap a little bit. Alright. So now what's going to happen here? Okay, so you got an Alabama walking up to a Turbis and a Veneto. Probably not the best idea for the Alabama, but the Alabama is being supported by the enemy CV, so might turn out quite well for him. Again, there are two enemy submarines are still alive, past the 10-minute mark, which is absolutely wild for submarines to live that long. It's unrare. It's rare for one submarine to live that long, let alone two submarines. All right, shots out on the Vanguard. Again, good hits, nothing too crazy. 13k there. Okay, I'm trying to see who's going to win this little brawl down here between the Tirpitz, the Alabama, and the Veneto, and the CV third partying them. All right, protectors, secondaries are going out on the Otago. Okay, Tirpitz does get the Alabama. All right, cool. So now it is 5v5. But again, still 2 subs, 1 cruiser, 1 battleship, and a carrier against 4 battleships and a single cruiser. Fire on TRC via the Otago. Otago's at about half HP. Vanguard swapped back over to HE, popping his heal there. Again, all this fire damage is 100% healable, so that's a good call. Obviously, because he's just so low HP too, right? Alright, HE out in the Vanguard. Oh my god! 2k HP. Don't you guys hate it when that happens? You get someone down to just, like a sneeze away from dying. They manage to skedaddle away into the night. Although TRC is now... TRC is now capping the C cap. I think it's the first time their team's gotten to a cap here in a hot minute. Alright, so here's the problem though. He's spotted. The enemy ships can see him. He can't see what they're doing. So, again, they can pick and choose like you see here. Oh, that's a little broadside there, Otago. Gets a shot out on the broadside Otago from 10 kilometers away. And, oh, beautiful. 24k dev strike. His second dev strike of the match, ladies and gentlemen, on a broadside Otago. Beautiful. Unfortunately, though, this fire is permanent, so he's got to let it burn, because his damage count is not going to be off of cooldown before it comes off. Okay, salvo out on the Vanguard. This should be a dead Vanguard at this point. Please, game. Thank you. Alright, so his 4th kill of the game. Alright, he's now undetected. 25 seconds left on this fire. He's out of heals, boys, so this is it. Oh, hi, S189. Okay, he is trying to stay behind this island, just trying to stay undetected. But he's also trying to get this cap here, which they desperately need. Okay, Protector dodges those submarine torps. Yamahari's in the B cap. So, the big problem here is that the 3 enemy ships left alive on the enemy team are the ones that we all have a ton of fun interactions with because, well, we don't really get to interact with them too much. So the submarines can obviously just stay at periscope depth or really on the surface and stay undetected because they have amazing concealment values. The enemy CV is probably in like A1 or A5, if I had to guess, to where, again, you don't get to interact with him at all. There you go, Chicago just took out the Tirpitz. S189 flew a little bit too close to the sun, got spotted here by the Protector, but his torpedoes are out on the Protector. Protector's ASW planes are out. TRC was looking at getting his out, but unfortunately he's out of range. So, Now, submarines, however, they, sure, they can do pretty good damage, but they're pretty limited to, oh, what's Shikaku doing? That is not where I thought he was going to be, buddy. Oh, okay, this might be a game changer here. But yeah, submarines, they're very good at harassing one individual target. Their overall battle impact is usually pretty low because they die so early, but this late in the game, obviously with that stealth capability, that is a massive advantage for them to have right now. The Shikaku, wow, this was most unfortunate for the enemy team, at least. Great for TRC's team. Alright, broadside out on the Shikaku. He's slowly turning away. I don't think he's going to turn enough, to not eat a bunch of those shells. 13k, almost 14k there from TRC. The Yamahari's in on it as well. Now, what HP is the Yamahari at? Oh, he's pretty full. Okay, he should be alright. Unless that U190 is also milling about somewhere over there. Okay, S189, again, just out of ASW range, but the Protector's on top of him. Decent hit there on the Shikaku, 4,200. Looks like the Shikaku whiffed his drop on the Yamahara, but he did manage to get him to, only be able to use his forward guns. Protector sinks the S189. Things are starting to turn around for the friendly side now. They do have 2 caps. They are in the lead in terms of points. Shells out on the Shokaku, and ooh, okay, not so bad, not so bad, not so bad. One hit. Damage is damage. Shokaku can't heal any of that, so you know every single point of damage is important, especially when you're in a situation like this. Okay, Shokaku might get around behind that island before they're able to sink him, but obviously they do know where he's at now. I really thought it was going to be an A5. That's where most CVs go late game when you have the northern spawn, because it's a nice little island you can tuck yourself behind, and it buys yourself a lot of time there. So my concern... Oh, U190 just took out the Veneto. That's not good. Okay. So if I'm the U190, I'm now racing up north to go and try to take out the Shimahari. So, you know, my CV hopefully doesn't die, but I think he's going to die anyway here with this salvo from TRC. And RNG says... Yes! There we go. Kraken Unleash with TRC. Taking out the carrier for his Kraken. What an accomplishment. Alright. So there's still a U190 around. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to sink 3 enemy ships, but it would definitely be a pretty big effort. However, we've seen crazier things here on the channel. So, the question is, where is he? We know he was down south with the Veneto, so he's probably running on the surface to get back over here. He hasn't touched the A-cap yet. Oh, did his buddy just out him in chat? What? Or is that him? Yeah, no, his buddy just, well, we don't know if that's where oh, nope, okay. He is revealing his teammate's location in all chat. I'm pretty sure that violates Wargaming's terms of service, but, yeah, we'll see. So let's see if it really is at F2, as TRC is heading there right now. He was heading there anyway, so. But, I don't know why you want to out the last guy on your team when he has a chance of winning. Alright, there's the submarine torps on the Yumahari. 1, 2. They're going to impact. Looks like that's a no. 4, yeah, 4 torps. Oh, he does clip him with 1. Let's see. 2, 3. Ooh, okay, that's not so good. So again, the submarine, obviously, massive stealth advantage here. Oh, here comes more torps. Looks like those are going to miss. Ah, there he is. Alright, letting the salvo go. Will it do anything? Oh, he does actually hit him with a shell! He has HE loaded, which is definitely what you want when dealing with submarines, because the HE has a larger surface area explosion, and then the AP shells. So there's the oil slick. He should have had to damage con that, so if they could get up, there it is. So he's sailing toward the island. Up, there you go. The Yumahara is now sunk. See what I'm saying? So that was a 1v2. And, ooh, yeah. So TRC is very low, like single torpedo low on HP, and the Protector is pretty low too. So the submarine has a very real chance of pulling this off. If his buddy didn't, you know, out him. Alright, so popping this plane, trying to spot him. There he is. He got the cap. Letting the shells go, because he does know he's got to be at the surface to get those pings off. Well, to spot him, he's got to be at the surface with his periscope up. Once his periscope's down, he can't spot him. He should be good behind the island here. Oh, he also damage con the ping. And no joy there with those ASW charges. So this is quite precarious. Because if he does sink TRC here, the Protector's not a much higher HP than TRC. And, So, 57 seconds, though. So, the submarine's got to pull something amazing off here. Which, I think the Protector, yeah, no, he should be fine. This should be a win. But will TRC live? Or can he get the 6th kill with the submarine? He's waiting for him to come around this corner here. But if I'm the submarine, I would be heading around the other side of the island. To kind of, you know, come up from the side and ambush you. Ah, look at that. Okay. There's another one. And any more? Submarine's pretty good. I don't know what the other guy in the chat's on about, because those are some good predictive torps. Most people probably would just continue to go around the island. And there he is, boys, get him. All Alright, got the ping on him too. Okay, so, but yeah, the torpedoes weren't even armed from this range, so should be good. Hits the conning tower with his forward turret. Rear turret, unfortunately, misses. And can he get him here before the time runs out? Come on, come on. Kill number 6. Kill number... No! 2,600 HP, though. Oh, man, like 2 more seconds, the secondaries would have got him, though. 219,000 damage done. 5 ships sunk. Man got Confederate. Devastating strike twice. Dreadnought definitely earned. Kraken and high caliber. Got 2 solo caps, 5 citadels, and let's see how much base XP did this man. He got all of it. 3,100 base XP. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what happens when you bully a submarine for most of its HP, and you get those caps, those oh so important caps. Yeah, both sides just didn't really seem to go for the caps for the first like 6 or 7 minutes of the game. So yeah, there's that. But nice seeing the Gascon being put through the ringer here and coming out on top. It's a ship that I didn't have great luck with it in my first couple of months owning it, but I grew to appreciate it as time went on. It's a really good ship, definitely, in my humble opinion. But anyway, guys, if you have a great replay you'd like to see here on the channel, feel free to send it to the email linked in the description down below. You might find yourself as our next replay video. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday, wonderful rest of your weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.